In this bulletin, COVID infections remain above 250. 20% of infections could become severely ill, and shipping services halted. Good afternoon, Fiji. 274 new COVID-19 cases were recorded in the 24-hour reporting period that ended at 8 a.m. yesterday. Permanent Secretary for Health Dr. James Fong says the daily case average is expected to rise. He says there is a new area of concern in Rifle Range, Lautoka. Dr. Fong adds this is following a birthday party that was attended by 14 people from various locations in Lautoka.
Not only does this event show a blatant disregard for our COVID-19 safety measures, it also troubles me that families would recklessly threaten the health of their own family members and the broader community, especially those members of the family and the community who are most vulnerable.
As many as 80 people are at risk of becoming severely ill from COVID-19 when infections reach a peak. PS for Health Dr. James Fong says their projections indicate that the highest daily cases could reach 800 for the whole of Viti level, with the Central Division being the hotspot for the outbreak. Half of the total infections and severely ill cases will emerge from the Lami to Nosori containment zone. Dr. Fong adds their strategy is not to eliminate COVID-19, but to suppress the numbers until the vaccine can hold.
If we look at keeping the disease within the Central Division, where you have half the population, then one would estimate that at its worst, we get about 400 cases a day. So when you get 400 cases a day, then you calculate that 20% of them will be sick. You can see that we will have a huge number of sick people for as long as we are not able to maintain some degree of control over the virus.
Only severe cases of COVID-19 will now be entered into isolation centers, while others who do not display severe symptoms will have to isolate at home. Dr. James Fong says the resources are limited and the response must now be targeted to where it is needed most. The priority now is to care for those who become severely ill and those who may die from COVID-19. A new team has also been set up at the ANZ Stadium in Suva to help transport patients who become severely ill from homes or isolation centers to COVID care facilities.
Over the next few weeks, as case numbers increase, our isolation capacity will become severely tested. As that happens, we need to ensure that we identify and treat those who are most vulnerable to severe COVID-19. Which is why, moving forward, our isolation facilities will be dedicated for patients who are most at risk of becoming severely ill or dying from the virus.
The Ministry of Health will now direct its efforts towards educating people on how to defend themselves from contracting COVID-19. Permanent Secretary for Health Dr. James Fong says they will be enforcing these measures as widely as possible. The step is being taken as the deadly Delta variant continues to spread in Viti level, with the ministry warning that the next wave of cases will arrive in weeks to come. Dr. Fong says they are implanting containment programs in areas with widespread transmissions or where the ministry anticipates widespread transmission.
If you are at home right now, wondering how you can best support us, your family, your neighbors, and the country, the best thing you can do is to stay right where you are and to continue to spend as much time as possible safely in the confines of your home.
Gounder Shipping Limited says it is taking precautionary measures by halting majority of its services to Maritime Islands for the next 3 weeks. Owner George Gounder says this is particularly for services out of Suva and Lautoka. Gounder says some of his crew members are currently isolating in 3 vessels berthed at the Narayan Jetty in Suva. He says while some staff are COVID positive, others are waiting for their test results. He says a vessel is expected to leave for Kandavu today, while another one will sail to Lakemba and Mode. However, Gounder adds there is no guarantee if these routes will be services as test results are yet to be received. Gounder also says they fear the risk of exposing the virus to those in the Maritime. He says the only boats that will be operating will be from Natovi in Tailevu and Ellington Wharf in Rakiraki. A total of 39,130 food ration, grocery, essential item and household packs have been distributed by the Fijian government. To date, around 2,068 household packs have been delivered to Fijians in home isolation in Lami, Suvarnasinu, Nusuri areas. 97 household packs have been distributed to people in home isolation. The Ministry of Economy data entry team, together with the Fiji Police Force, managed to complete the electronic registration for Fijians in isolation at the Turner House, Queen Elizabeth Drive and Monikau. And to our latest COVID-19 update. There were 274 new cases in the 24-hour period ending at 8 a.m. yesterday morning. Majority of the cases remain in the Central Division. The ministry has also identified a new area of concern in Rifle Range, Lautoka. Fiji has recorded 4,348 cases since April of this year. There are now 3,503 active cases in isolation with 882 recoveries in total. The COVID-19 death toll now stands at 21. Up ahead, Super Rugby assists players and officials. Welcome back. The Super Rugby Union assisted 47 players and officials who are affected by the second COVID-19 wave in Fiji. SRU Chair Penioni Naliva led his team with the assistance of its partners, including major sponsor Ramsamy, in distributing food rations. Senior men, women and under-19 players and officials from Wainandoi up to Raralevu village in Tailevu and Namunrau in Rewa were assisted. The SRU says they sympathize with their players during these tough times. Super Rugby is also encouraging all its clubs, supporters and players to be vaccinated. Fijian winger Sammy Valemei has resigned with the Canberra Raiders until the end of the 2024 season. Serena Williams' attempt to equal the record for the most Grand Slam titles has been put on hold again after she tearfully withdrew from her first-round match at Wimbledon. She hasn't won a major since 2017 and time is not on her side. A trough of low pressure with associated cloud and showers remains over Fiji. It is gradually moving eastwards and is expected to clear from the group by evening today. That's FBC News now. Join us for a 1-hour major bulletin at 7 p.m. And be sure to download the FBC app to access the latest in news, sports and live radio broadcasts from any of our 6 FBC radio stations. Stay safe and good afternoon.